Hello, everyone. Welcome to Nomads No Worries, a podcast for nomads, travelers, expats, or people who like to laugh.
People who don't worry.
People who don't worry. That's a big, big piece. I'd say about half, 50% of this podcast is about not worrying.
Right, right.
What's up, Jack? I know we already just caught up before this for like an hour, like low key off camera, but
It's okay. We still got more banter in the bank, as they say. So
yeah,
I'm doing really good. Yeah.
always room for more banter. Dude,
Yeah.
okay, so we got people sending us some ideas for our Nomad hack for today.
Yes.
So yeah, multiple listeners sent this one to us. Shout out Senior Toad, John P. Lee 92, and a couple others. They really wanted us to talk about this clip that's been going semi-viral on social media, and it's the Lululemon strategy.
I love Lululemon. Low key. Not even talking about the article.
Yeah, same. I have some shorts from there. They're pretty nice. They were expensive, but they've lasted a long time. And Lululemon, I think if anything gets damaged, they'll just replace it for you for free, which is awesome. So it's kind of like a lifetime warranty.
Wait, really? Like if you get a hole in your sock or your pants or something?
Yeah, get a hole in your yoga pants, they'll just swap it out for you.
Wow, I feel like my favorite product that Lululemon makes is those slacks that feel like comfy pants.
Yeah,
Like
those
that's
are
my
awesome.
kind of thing. As a software engineer, like that's as much as dress up as I'm gonna get is like comfy pants slacks. They're amazing.
Yeah, that's a good product. But yeah, this strategy, basically what it is, basically if you're visiting a new city and you want to know where the nice neighborhoods are, use Google Maps to search for Lululemon stores in that city. And then more than likely, Lululemon is going to be put in the nice walkable areas that are full of bars and restaurants. So probably a safe neighborhood, probably maybe more on the upscale side. But if you're looking for a good place to explore, if you're visiting a new city, just find the nearest Lululemon.
Wow, that's a really it reminds me of the like how we always look on the map for like the yellow parts of Google Map. It's like that's the
Yep.
same technique, right?
It is like that. I thought that same thing too, Jack, like talking about the yellow parts, but sometimes those can be not always the best. Like, maybe it's a business area, but it's not really like, it's just full of like McDonald's and Wendy's and stuff like that. But
Yeah.
if there's a Lululemon, it's probably going to be a walkable area that's fun to explore for sure.
Now, Steve, do you know the origin of the Lululemon name? I don't actually know, but it feels like a funny name. Like, how do they even come up with something like that?
Let's look it up.
To create a name that would sound Western to Japanese buyers?
Wow. Now, Lululemon was, I think, founded in Canada, in Vancouver, actually.
Wow.
So that's where they're headquartered. Shout out Canada.
Yeah.
But anyway, so the OP of this strategy does mention like, one hole in this strategy is that sometimes Lululemon can be in malls. But so when you search for Lululemon on Google Maps, you can easily see that it's in a mall. That's not going to be a fun area more than likely. So make sure it's a location with a storefront, and then that means it'll be in a nice neighborhood. He also mentions a backup method if there's not enough Lululemons or whatever. The Whole Foods method. Okay, very similar. Whole Foods are usually in nice neighborhoods, fun neighborhoods. So that's a kind of a backup theory there.
See, that also thinks it reminds me of like maybe an Apple store, right? Like an Apple store could be a good indicator as well.
Yeah, okay, I like that. And there's another hole that I found. So I wanted to test this for myself with a city that I'm really familiar with. So I tested it in Denver.
Okay.
And there are a lot in these suburbs, right? Like suburbs are going to have Lululemon for sure. You got soccer moms out there.
Strollers.
Yeah, so they're going to be shopping at Lululemon, no problem. But if you're visiting a new city, you're probably not going to want to go hang out in the suburbs to walk around. So I would make sure that it's in the city limits when you're looking for the Lululemon. So if you're searching in Denver, click on the Lululemon location, make sure that it has a Denver address and not Aurora or some other bullshit. So I tested this in Denver, and one of the locations was in the Cherry Creek Mall, so I kind of counted that one out. Although that's a nice area. But now the main one that I found was in the Highlands on 32nd Street, Jack, which is perfect. I mean, that is, again, if you're visiting Denver, I think that would be a great area to hang out, walk around. So that definitely applies there. And I was actually surprised that Denver doesn't have more Lululemon locations. Like, that was really the only one in Denver proper. So that was surprising. And then I'm like, maybe Denver just has a lot of other yoga brands. Like, there's just a million competitors, like local ones, maybe some smaller brands. But yeah, that was surprising.
That's interesting. Yeah, like maybe like REI is kind of in a good area, like those kind of stores. Isn't there like some Aloe store now? I'm not sure what that's all about. But Steve, okay, what would be the opposite though? What would be like if you see this store in this area, don't go to this area? Like, you know what I mean? Like, what would be like an indicator?
Immediately, okay, so a couple things come to mind. First thing that comes to my mind is, because we've talked about it before, the DMV, right? It's never in a good area. If there's a DMV there, you probably don't want to hang out in that area.
Yeah.
Another one that I was thinking is Boost Mobile. Okay. You're probably not going to see a Boost Mobile store in the Highlands of Denver. Typically, when you see a Boost Mobile store, it's not an area that you want to walk around in, especially at night. The infrastructure is usually falling apart. There might be gravel everywhere, paint chipping off of the walls, things like that. Whereas, if there's a Lululemon location, that neighborhood's going to be pristine, very clean. But yeah, Boost Mobile, you might see some garbage on the ground.
Wow. Okay. I think those are really good. I have one as well, and I'm not trying to offend anyone with this one. I'm just spitting facts, as they say. And I love this place, for the record. I love this place. Okay. But I'm going to have to go with Waffle House. I mean, like, a Waffle House is usually not in a great area. But it's great. It's good food. Like, I love it. It's just, I don't usually walk out of Whole Foods and go to the left and there's a Waffle House.
Okay, that's a really good point. Yeah, I would agree with that. Waffle House, not in a good area, but it is a good establishment. Great waffles, great people, just not usually in a great area. I agree.
Convenient. Yeah, well, depending, it might not be that convenient, but yeah.
Yeah, no, that's a good take. Yeah. Another thing I was going to say is internationally, so definitely in the US, the Lululemon strategy is applicable. And Canada, of course, because Canada's kind of the same thing as the US, let's be real.
Yeah.
But for instance, like I looked up in LA, there's like 100 Lululemon stores in Los Angeles. But I'm in Mexico City, which is even larger than Los Angeles, right? There's like over 10 million people here. But there's only 2 Lululemon locations. One of them, I believe, is in a mall, but one is in Polanco, which is known as like kind of the wealthy, nice area of Mexico City. So that checks out. But just when you're traveling internationally, just be careful. There may not be as many Lululemon locations. If you're going to be in Africa, something like that. Europe has a pretty good amount. I know there's some in Ireland. There's quite a few in London. Paris had a ton. So definitely if you're in some mainstream European cities, you can still use this strategy. When you get into Eastern Europe, I noticed not as many Lululemon locations, which makes sense. Some of those non-Schengen countries that we've talked about before, Jack, right? Like, I don't know if people in Bosnia are rocking Lululemon as much.
Yeah, no, I think that's a totally fair take. I know I'm kind of thinking the analogy that comes to my head when you say that is like Taco Bell, like super popular in the US, but does it travel that well? Not really. So it's kind of like that, right?
True. So yeah, I would just, think about that. But the Lululemon strategy, I think it works pretty well. It's a good starting point, if nothing else. if you want to just start, your first day of your trip in a good neighborhood, start there, and then hopefully you'll learn more as you go, and you don't need to just follow Lululemon everywhere for the rest of your trip. But yeah, pretty good strategy here.
Honestly, I'm fairly sure that the pants I have that I was mentioning are from the Polanco Lululemon. Like I'm gonna give it like 90% sure because I know exactly that store and I remember I was missing pants that trip. So Polanco's a nice area.
Nice.
You need pants. Like, yeah.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, you don't want to look like a tourist with your little shorts and flip flops. I'm actually going to dinner tomorrow night. We made a reservation in Polanco to go to dinner, so that'll be fun.
Oh, that sounds awesome. Yeah. So wait, Steve, for our viewers, what part of Mexico are you in right now? Or, what part of Mexico City, I
Just
guess?
I'm just outside of Polanco, kind of between Polanco and Roma Norte. So definitely a solid area, and we can walk to Polanco, we can walk to Roma Norte. So it's solid.
Awesome. Awesome.
Yeah. All right. Anything else on this before we get to our location highlight?
I mean, Lululemon genius, location, location, location.
Location is everything, and Lululemon really, really proves that.
And if our viewers think they have a better indicator, either direction, let us know.
Yeah, definitely. All right, so location highlight today. This is an obscure one. People may not think of as a typical digital nomad destination, but Jack, I know you've kind of nomaded there. I've done a little bit of that. Overall, we've just spent a lot of time in this city. It is Las Vegas, Nevada. Las Vegas, Nevada, ladies and
I don't
gentlemen.
know why that's funny. It's like, oh, you spent like so much time in this city. It's like, and they say Las Vegas, it's just
Yeah.
hilarious to me. It's like, what
Yeah.
a degenerate spot,
Yeah, it makes you sound like a degenerate. Yeah, if you spend a lot of time if you spend too much time in Las Vegas, you might have some issues.
Really ran all over that city. Yeah, it was awesome. Yeah.
How much money do you think you've spent in Las Vegas?
Well, Steve, I will tell you that when I was living there, I actually saved a little bit of money. Okay. And this is how I saved money. Okay. So I'm a big in the morning, like I like to go and get a coffee. Even though I have coffee at my house, I like to go buy a coffee. But in Vegas, I didn't do that. After a while, I started just getting the free RBVs. So I would just walk into the casino, you get the free RBV for just like, a little bit of gambling or just hanging out by the tables. And that's like better than a free coffee. So in that very
That
specific instance, I was saving money. So that's my first travel tip. Yeah.
that is genius. And for our viewers at home who are not familiar with the RBV abbreviation, that stands for Red Bull Vodka. So all you got to do is sit at the gambling table and you get free drinks. So you get free RBV. And you definitely didn't lose any money gambling to get the RBV, right?
Well, I got pretty good at like the hover move, like it's almost kind of like the fake gamble because you can't gamble every day. I mean, I guess there are people who do that, but like I think things would quickly
You
unravel.
shouldn't. Yeah, you probably shouldn't gamble every day.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh,
Yeah, so you
all
got
right.
to
Well,
kind of master the hover. Yeah.
that's a good place for us to start. We got a lot to talk about when it comes to Vegas. We're going to talk about it as a digital nomad destination, kind of what it's like to live there, some other fun facts, and a little bit of a history lesson that I think is interesting in Vegas, and then some of our own personal takes and stories. But for the nomads out there, Jack, I feel like this is going to be where you come in because you did live in downtown Vegas for a bit. So let's start there. What are the tips you have for our nomads looking to live there?
Well, I would definitely choose downtown or North Vegas to live rather than living on the strip. I think it's pretty obvious, why, there's actually normal people with normal lives that live in North Vegas and the surrounding downtown slash suburban area. So I felt like there are moments where you can kind of get away from the partying. You don't have to be on the strip or like the old strip. And they have nice restaurants. I remember Steve and we went out for a good dinner at kind of a nice backyard spot. And they have some cool little, this area made out of shipping containers that, it charges $20 sandwiches. So they're really kind of, they're kind of amping up, and it seems like Vegas is starting to become a much more livable place.
Yeah, and it's surprisingly affordable. I know compared to other major US cities, like Vegas actually has a very low cost of living. I mean, when you think about it, a lot of the people who live there, they work at casinos, they work at bars. Like, it's not like these are high-powered business people making huge six-figure salaries. So it's a very affordable spot. Lots of good co-working spaces, short-term rentals. My friend Nicole, who I think you've met, Jack, she lived in Vegas for years, and like she had a sick spot. She actually lived kind of off the strip a little bit, but it was a really nice 2-bedroom apartment, like with a view of the strip. It was incredible. Wow. And I remember when she told me her rent price, it was like less than Kansas City prices. And I was surprised by that. So you can get a lot of bang for your buck in Vegas.
That's right. It's really important. You got to leave the money on the table. Okay. You don't want to be spending the money on the rent. You want to put that money on the table.
100%.
Yeah. But Steve, I mean, I feel like we had some good experiences, right? Like we've kind of done the old Vegas casinos and the new Vegas casinos, and I would love to kind of hear from you. What do you prefer? Are you a Golden Nugget guy? Are you a MGM Grand guy? Like, where's your heart?
I think my heart is in old downtown Vegas, just overall, okay? I just think it's way more chill there, way more walkable. I really enjoy the vibe of downtown Vegas. It's just less touristy, less chaotic. I mean, it's still crazy, but it's just more manageable. But as far as the casinos go, I'd say that the Strip has better casinos. Like my favorite is probably the Wynn on the Strip. It's just super nice and just like fancy, and it's beautiful. And there's some other places like that, like the Venetian. I mean, it looks like you're in Italy, just a super fake version, but it's beautiful there. I don't know. What would you say, Jack?
Wait, Steve, when you were at the Venetian, did you get on the water? Did you get kind of carted around, or what's up?
Yeah, on the gondolas. I've done the gondolas before. Yeah, it's
you actually
it's nice.
did it?
Yeah, I think I've done it. It was years ago, but yeah, it was cool.
Okay. I mean, that's nice. That's interesting. I've never done that either in Italy or Vegas, so that's something I'm still on my bucket list.
It's funny. I went to Venice, and I did not do it in Venice, like actual Venice, Italy, because that's too expensive. But like I did it in Vegas back in the day.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say something like, "Oh, it was like too touristy in Italy, or like not authentic enough." You felt like the Vegas version was better.
Yeah. But what would you say to that, Jack? What's your vibe?
My favorite casino? Well, I looked this up before our call, and my favorite casino is closed now. So I really like the Hooters casino. I thought that was a great one because they had dollar blackjack tables. And I just feel like I'm not a really good gambler. And I'm going to totally lose all the money every time I go. And so I'd rather lose $1 than like $20 a hand. And so I loved Hooters because it was super cheap. I don't know what the new casino is there, but I'm fairly sure there is a new one that's like kind of stood up. Let me look that up.
Yeah, I know the Mirage recently closed as well, and they're turning it into a Hard Rock, which is pretty hilarious. Okay, but out. Back to the livability of Vegas nomads. So one thing that's underrated is, if you're a digital nomad, you might work weird hours, right? Depending on your job, you might be working remotely for working in a different country, something. So Vegas is ideal for night owl nomads because it's a 24/7 city, right? It's always open. The gyms, restaurants, even some co-working spaces are open all night long. It's a good city for that. There's also no state income tax in Nevada, so that makes it an attractive spot for entrepreneurs, freelancers, anyone who wants to evade taxes. So that's good too.
Yeah, no, that is great. It almost feels like a super setup. And I'm sure a lot of people have kind of realized that. They're like, look, I'm pretty close geographically, great airport, obviously, as well, because people fly into Vegas all over the world. So I'm sure traveling from Vegas is really convenient. And flights are traditionally, I don't know if this is like a myth or not, but I feel like flights to Vegas are really cheap always.
Yeah, I think it's pretty true. I feel like every time I fly there, it's very affordable. I've flown on like shitty airlines like Spirit, and it's been like under $100 round trip before. So yeah, that's a good aspect. There's also super fast internet everywhere. So like there's a ton of tech and like casino security demands. So Vegas has some of the best Wi-Fi speeds in the US and the world, really. That makes it a really good remote work spot. You can also work from some crazy places like high-rise cafes, get some nice views, go to like a weird themed bar or like a poolside. So if you're into the unique working spots, Vegas has plenty of those too.
Yeah, and I remember, right, because I would kind of do that. And where I was staying when I was on the strip was it was called the MGM Signature, which is like these like high rises that are like behind the MGM Grand or like attached to it. But the funniest part is like I would kind of walk out and I'm like I got my backpack with my laptop and like trying to find a place to work. But like these casinos are like designed that you just like you're walking forever. And it's like I felt like I could like never get to where I was trying to go because I'm just like always like stuck into the casino. It's like I'm going around and around in circles. So one thing is I would just plan ahead a little bit on that because it can be tough to navigate, right? That's kind of the design.
Yeah, if you have a meeting at a certain time, like don't just try to, for the first time, go into a casino and try to find the place to work because you may never find it. You may end up at a craps table for 2 hours. You may end up in someone's hotel room doing weird stuff. So yeah, be
Right.
careful out there.
Yeah, no, 100%. You want to stick to the plan, as they say, because Vegas will throw you off.
What else do you have to say about living there, Jack? Any other?
Well, I feel like the people watching is something we got to talk about. I mean, from the strip to North Vegas, downtown, whatever, the people are so interesting. And I felt like they're interesting on the strip, but not as crazy as like on the downtown. I feel like there's like the downtown is like the mix of like gambling degenerates, like locals getting off work, and if you're super down there, like where the Golden Nugget is, like that big street, it's just like, it's craziness. People playing music on the street, people are yelling at each other. You got the Heart Attack Grill right there. Like it is a crazy. It's just like it really is, fear and loathing type of vibe. I feel like, especially when you get up, away from the strip area.
Remind me to talk about the heart attack grill in a sec, but I do want to say that
I have
the
notes for
people
that too.
yes, the people watching is probably my favorite part of Vegas as well. The first time I'm just a people watcher in general. Like that's something I love about traveling is seeing all the different people. But Vegas is probably, top three places in the world for people watching. Yeah, on the strip, things are crazy, just drunk people all night. Something I did one time. So I was walking home from a music fest. So I was staying on the strip, but I was
Okay.
attending a music festival that was in downtown.
Okay.
Okay. And I chose to walk home after the festival ended. Okay. So I think I went out in downtown after the festival. So yeah, at this point it was like 3, 4 a.m.
Mm-hmm.
And I choose to walk from downtown Vegas to my hotel on the strip.
Okay.
Now, it kind of, you might think that they just kind of directly back up to each other, those two areas, but no, like there's a good 30-minute walk between downtown and the strip that is just like this weird, like it's not, they wouldn't consider it like downtown. They wouldn't consider it, it's just this weird purgatory. And I saw some of the strangest characters walking around there. It was like an episode of Reno 911 or something like that. I just saw some characters, dudes with like peg legs walking around, hookers of all flavors. It was interesting. Probably dangerous to be walking around there so late at night, but yeah, it was worth it just to see that.
Dude, that reminds me of, I remember I was watching a documentary a few months ago about the mole people of Vegas. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I watched that documentary too, and I had that in my notes. Like there is an elaborate underground world beneath the city. Like there's a tunnel network under Vegas where some people just live there, year round.
Yeah, no, and that's wild. And I think they're like having some problems where like it floods, you know?
I bet.
Yeah, I guess that's kind of the purpose. But I mean, it's crazy. It's they got their whole little thing. I think some of them legitimately like go to work in the casinos, but like they prefer to live in the shelter, which again, I mean, kind of going back to Nicole's apartment situation, it's not too bad a rent. So I'd probably choose rent, you know? It's not like, you're in the Tenderloin in SF. It's really expensive. You should be okay, but I guess these people they have their vibe that they like.
Yeah. The savings that they accumulate by living in the sewer, they can buy like a really nice car. Like you see a guy like driving a sick Corvette who works
Into the
works
sewer.
as a bartender. Yeah, and then he just parks it and goes into the sewer.
Happy that they're there. That just adds another flavor, another element to the lore of Vegas. Like, I don't think Vegas should do anything about that. If anything, they should encourage that. Like,
Yeah,
let's get
dude.
it going. Like,
Long live the mole people.
yeah, yeah, I'm in full support. Is there gonna be a Lululemon there? Probably not. Maybe a
Probably
Waffle
not.
House though.
They should start building restaurant. They should put like a Boost Mobile and a Waffle House underground for the mole people. I
I
don't know
mean,
if they get good service if Boost Mobile's network like reaches underground, but we'll see.
maybe there's like a business angle there, like, telecommunications for underground people. I'm sure that could be a thing.
I feel like we keep coming up with really genius business ideas on this podcast just organically. That's another good one.
And we're just kind of giving away these ideas for free. So if you're a listener out there and you kind of start this business, we would prefer like a royalty or something. That would be nice. Yeah, we'll give you some stickers so you can kind of stick our podcast like in the tunnels so that like the mole people know about it, and they have something to listen to with their newfound internet.
Yes. Wow. Man, we're really tying this back together. I love it. All right. What else? What else we got, Jack?
Well, I feel like we should talk about the Heart Attack Grill because it is like a hilarious spot. Like it is a hilarious spot.
Let's do
So,
it. Yeah, take it away. I forget
all
how it
right,
works exactly. You got it.
I'll start it off, and you fill me in here. So it's called the Heart Attack Grill. It's in downtown Vegas, and it's kind of like this. I call it like a dystopian restaurant. Like they're just sort of making fun of a lot of cliches of America. So, for example, they serve burgers and fries. The burgers are called bypass burgers. And so you can have like a single or double bypass, a triple bypass, kind of alluding to, the medical operation. They have flatliner fries. And Steve, you're going to love this one. They also give you cigarettes with your meal.
That's incredible.
And this might actually be legal. So like I can't believe they do this, but so if you're an adult, you get your cig, right? And if you're a kid, you get like a candy cigarette. And I
That's
thought like
good.
that's not, is that okay? Like
Yeah, kids can buy candy cigarettes, right? Like you can buy that at 7-Eleven, but I really appreciate them looking out for the kids. Kids should be able to have cigarettes with their parents too.
yeah, let's start them early. I felt like Jewel got in trouble for this. Like they were kind of marketing to kids. This feels like marketing to kids. Look, one day I'll be able to come back and smoke unfiltered cigs with my dad.
Yeah, no, you're definitely right. Like Jewel got in trouble, and some other companies just got sued as well. So, but a Heart Attack Cafe or Heart Attack Grill, it might be different.
Yeah, but when you see something like this in Vegas, you can just kind of write it off, right? Like, oh, it's Vegas, like,
Yeah,
like whatever. Like that's just how
exactly.
it works, right? Okay, now a couple other things about this place. They serve alcoholic drinks, obviously, but they come in like prescription bottles or like IV bags. So the IV bag is hilarious. I mean, Steve and I don't want to like say anything, but we did play slap the bag a lot in college, and I felt like that's what that reminded me of, like slapping Franzia bags and chugging them. And then also if you weigh over 350 pounds, you eat for free. So I mean, I'm glad that, that they're catering to certain particular people. Now, is it good that we're encouraging people over 350 pounds to eat bypass burgers and flatliner fries? I don't know. But, you can go in on your own. I guess if I was over 350 and I could literally get a free meal, like, that's kind of a good idea.
Yeah, I would do it 100%. It seems like they're really trying to stick to the name of heart attack. Like if you're giving free, unhealthy food to obese people, like
Yeah.
you're just gonna, they're more likely to have a heart attack, maybe even in your restaurant. And then they're just like, yeah, that's what we do. We're just dishing out heart attacks.
But it's okay. Like if you have a heart attack, like the waitresses, they're dressed up as nurses. When you walk in, like they put on like a patient gown for you, so like you're in good hands. Like if something goes wrong, like they know what to do, right?
Love that, dude. Like it's hospital themed for some reason because they're like, this place is so unhealthy that you're going to end up in the hospital. So we're just going to make the restaurant a fake hospital because everything in Vegas is fake. But yeah,
Right.
love that.
Right, and we're also we're fake doctors and nurses too. So like,
Yeah.
like we're not actually going to help you. Okay, but this is my favorite fact. This is my favorite fact. If you don't finish your meal, you get publicly spanked. I just think that's so like,
Man.
I want to see like a 350 pounder getting spanked by some tiny nurse because he didn't finish his like quintuple bypass burger.
Yeah, that is good. Yeah, you can get spankings in downtown Vegas. I remember when we were there last time, Jack, we paid this woman who was dressed up as a nun, but like a sexy nun. Like she was like topless and she had like pasties over her nipples. But other than that, she looked like a nun. And we were paying her to like spank our friends. Good times.
Oh my God, I forgot about that. Oh my God, that's hilarious. I think that was Halloween night. I think that was Halloween.
I mean, I feel like Vegas just always feels like Halloween to me.
You're right. I was like thinking, man, everyone was dressed up, but wait, I guess
just
they
how it
always
is.
are. Yeah, maybe it wasn't Halloween. It was around there though. Like it was
fall because I think it was when we were there for the Chiefs game, so it was definitely Halloween. It was spooky season.
Yeah, yeah, it was spooky season for sure. Yeah. Well, shout out to our digital nomads. If you kind of feel like, oh, I'm not really nomading right now, I'm in Vegas. Well, you could go to the Nomad Hotel in Park MGM and stay there. And I don't know if there's actually any nomads there, but it is called the Nomad Hotel.
I did look it up on Nomad List, and in the United States, Las Vegas is the number 14th ranked city on Nomad List. There's something.
Wow. What are the pros and cons according to people who are living there? Is the Heart Attack Grill on there, or what's up?
Heart Attack Grill, Naked Nuns, those are all big pros. Mole people can be a pro or a con, kind of depending on who you are, but
man, Steve, I know what we're gonna have to do, man. So for our viewers out there, I don't know, I'm gonna tell you guys something about Steve. He loves doing eating contests. He loves getting out there. He wants to see how many wings he can eat, if he can eat the spiciest sauce, So I think we need to have a Nomads No Worries Heart Attack Grill edition where we see if Steve can eat the octuple bypass burger.
Oh my God. I can't
You're gonna
believe.
have to pay for it unless like all three, like unless we can get a bunch of our friends to get on the scale. You might be out of some money, but I think we need to make this happen.
Wow, I've never heard of that. I mean, I've seen, like a double-double. I've seen a triple-double, that kind of burger. Maybe 4 patties at most, but Octagon, Dr. Octopus, that is a lot of patties, it sounds like.
They better be hella smashed. Like, they better be tiny.
Yeah. And I should probably be hella smashed if I'm going to try to eat that as well.
Yeah. Well, we'll get you something. We'll get you an IV bag full of Franzia.
Thanks, man. Yeah, that'll help. Jack, speaking of the Golden Nugget, I didn't know this, but displayed in the Golden Nugget, they have something called the Hand of Faith, and it is the largest Golden Nugget ever found with a metal detector. and it weighs over 61 pounds, and it's just on display, chilling in the Golden Nugget. So I guess that's where the name comes from. I didn't realize that.
Wow, that is how much is that worth, you think?
61 pounds? That's got to be like $1 jillion, right?
Yeah, I would put a jillion up there. Wait a second. So you're on the beach with your metal detector and you come across a 61-pound golden nugget?
Yeah.
What do you do in that situation? Because I would be afraid to leave it, right? Like, I would need to call someone and be like, I need some security down here. I just found a 61-pounder. Like, like, do you
Okay.
move it? Do you take it out of the hole and, like, walk away to your car with it? Like, would you get jumped?
Can you lift 60 pounds? Like, I don't know, dude. After the heart attack grill, like, I'm not sure if I could even lift that.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, better use your legs. That's for sure.
According to ChatGPT, that much gold, like a 61-pound nugget, would be worth 4 to 5.2 million,
Wow.
depending on the market situation.
Yeah, that's crazy. Well, I love the Golden Nugget. It's a classic spot, and I love
It
classic
is.
spots.
It
Like,
is classic. Yeah, dude, me too. An institution, you could say. I love that.
yeah, the birthplace of gambling. That's probably not even true.
So, I do want to get into sort of how Vegas started, because I think this is a very interesting story. So, just a quick history lesson for the people. This isn't a history podcast, so this will be a really quick one. But in the early 1930s, thousands of workers flooded into Nevada, into the desert to build the Hoover Dam. Okay, this was during the Great Depression. To keep them focused, the nearby city of Boulder City actually banned alcohol and gambling. Okay, just so these workers would be really not distracted by anything.
I'm sure that worked. Yeah.
Yeah, sounds like a bunch of cops. But then
Lame.
30 miles away, Las Vegas took an opposite approach. So they're like, okay, let's attract these guys who are coming to work on the Hoover Dam. Like, nothing was out there prior to the 1930s. Like, it was just like the Nevada desert, right? There was nothing going on. So they're like, okay, let's attract people to Las Vegas by legalizing gambling and like semi-legalizing brothels, right? Like, brothels also flourished kind of unofficially during this time.
Yin and
So
yang type of thing.
yeah, so all these dam workers were there looking to spend their hard-earned cash. So they're just going and gambling it all away in Las Vegas. But it caused the economy to boom. And mobsters then kind of saw this, like organized crime guys in the 1940s, and they're like, all right, let's take this to the next level. So they built like super glamorous casinos, and that's kind of how it all started, turning it into the entertainment capital that we know today.
And I think also, if we could just kind of save you mind putting a bow on it, they successfully built the dam, right?
As far as I know.
So the gambling and the hookers, everything worked. Like, it worked. Like, that is the motivation. Like, we built
Dude,
it.
good point. I mean, yeah, Vegas was quite literally built on booze, betting, and bitches, hoes,
Yeah. Yeah.
prostitutes.
The 3 Bs.
Dude, so that reminds we were talking about how they're building like that mega city in Saudi Arabia, and like they're having kind of issues, like it keeps getting halted. Yeah, if you guys just like let people, because like we talked about this before, like Saudi doesn't drink, like they don't do a lot of that stuff.
They banned fun.
Turn it into a Saudi Vegas, and I'm sure your mega city will be built in no time.
Dude, that's what they're missing. It's just they don't, I hate to say it, they just don't have that American ingenuity that we had. I mean, think about it. We thought about that almost 100 years ago at this point.
It's so simple, right? Give dudes booze and let them have some fun gambling, and it's a work hard, play hard kind of situation.
Yeah, you're really going to get people to go out in the middle of the desert, surrounded by no one, without booze, bitches, or what was the third one?
Betting.
Brothels. Oh, betting.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, like, what are you guys thinking? Like, what,
Yeah.
you think these people, you're just going to find a bunch of monks or something? Like, what's going on? Like, yeah.
Hell no. But that's great. But I will say, it wasn't built on gambling alone. Like, the city's economy was originally fueled by railroads and defense projects. Before the casino boom, like that was what their economy was. I guess defense projects, I'm thinking like Area 51 vibes, like we're out there testing out our bombs in the middle of nowhere and, building railroads. But yeah, that's, boring shit. So I'm glad the casinos made their mark.
Maybe that's why it's always Halloween there, because like the aliens have started to kind of like mingle with the locals, and now everyone kind of dresses eccentric.
Dude, I'm telling you, when I was walking around that weird area at 3 a.m., I might have seen some aliens. Like, it was hard to decipher, like, if it was a human being or an alien.
Which is cool.
Which is cool. I love hanging out with aliens. Vegas is also brighter than Times Square. It's one of the brightest spots on Earth. It's visible from space. We're just using up a ton of electricity, really just ruining the environment with this place.
Wait, what's visible from space, Steve?
The Strip, the Las Vegas Strip.
Whoa, okay. Now, Steve, look, we have a lot of American listeners. Some people, they've gone to Europe, some they haven't. What do you like better? Our Eiffel Tower or their Eiffel Tower? Be honest.
Damn, that's tough, man. There's not slot machines in the Paris Eiffel Tower. That's the problem. I went to the Paris one. It was beautiful. You can lay out in the grass, drink wine. But I just got this hankering to play blackjack. And I started looking around. I was like, where's the dealers, right? Like, I was looking for, like, the guys in vests, like, dealing blackjack. And I did not see them at all. I was like, well, this is bullshit. This sucks.
Yeah, it's so, what are you guys doing? Like, what am I supposed to do? Lay in the grass and eat a baguette for the whole time? Like, let me make some money.
Dude, I gotta tell this quick story. It's about the Paris casino in Las Vegas, okay? You just reminded me. I was there for a work event, a year or two ago. It was like a conference, right? For tech companies and shit. And we kind of had like a happy hour kind of meeting with some of our partners that we were meeting up with there. And it was at the Paris, on a patio that they had, some restaurant at Paris hotel and casino. And one of our partners, we just got to chatting, and she was like, I can't believe they have an outdoor casino here. And I was like, what? I was like, I don't think that's a thing. Like, I'm pretty sure it's very illegal to have outdoor. She's like, yeah, it's completely open air. Like, you can see the sky, you can see the clouds. She's like, it was totally an outdoor casino. And I even Googled it. I looked it up. No, there's no outdoor casinos in Vegas or really anywhere. That is completely illegal. They're all enclosed. I mean, as you said, they don't even have windows. And I was like, what is this person talking about? And then I go downstairs when we're done, and I'm in the Paris casino. And yeah, it has a fake sky. Not gonna lie, it looks pretty real. It's illuminated in a way that it looks like it's natural sunlight coming from above, but it has a fake sky. And it must have tricked this person into thinking that it was an outdoor casino. I couldn't believe it. And I never saw that person again, but I just haven't stopped thinking about that she's convinced that that's what it was.
Wow, kudos to whoever set that up. And they did a really good job. They must have already also set up the canals in Caesars and also in
the Venetian.
In the Venetian, excuse me, and also the Eiffel Tower. Yeah.
Venetian also has a really nice fake sky inside.
It does. That one's pretty obviously fake, though. I hope they didn't get tricked by that one.
Yeah, I hope not.
But, kind of 2-0 right now. We did the canals better and the Eiffel Tower, not too bad. Yeah.
We're crushing it. Yeah.
Yeah.
New York has a really nice skyline. Might be better than the real New York skyline. It's up for debate because the real New York does not have a roller coaster going through the skyline. So something to consider.
Yeah, that's true. And the real New York is a lot colder too. I'm talking about great weather.
Wow. God, the list goes on and on.
Jeez. God, am I moving back there or something? I need to go.
Okay, Vegas is also the wedding capital of the world. Over 100,000 weddings happen in Vegas every year, often with
100,000?
Yeah, bro. I don't know how long these things last. The marriages, some of them can only last 1 day. Both. I think the ceremonies are quick, And the marriages, they might just last a weekend, but it's real.
Damn, they must be pumping, they're pumping them out. I mean, 100,000, it's a lot.
Las Vegas also has 15 of the world's 25 largest hotels by room count. The MGM Grand alone has over 6,800 rooms.
But I just think I think what I love that, like, I just love that they just make stuff up. I just love that there's an Eiffel Tower. I love that they just try to go big, like with the Bellagio fountains. I think that's so great. I love the energy. And what I think I love the most is that it's like unapologetically like its own thing. I think we all, we appreciate a little individuality, and it doesn't look like every other normal city. It is truly an interesting place. And Steve, I'm sure you've had very similar experiences, but when I say, "Oh, I'm American," like I even have to introduce, like they hear the accent.
Yeah.
And they're like, "Oh my gosh, like I want to go to America." Like in their top 3 places they think of, they think of Vegas. Like they think of, it's like New York, LA, Vegas.
Yeah,
basically.
true.
Like,
it is iconic, world renowned. And yeah, I agree. I love that it's unapologetically just like so stupid and
yeah.
over the top, but like that's the point. Like it's once
Yeah.
you embrace that, like yeah, you can go and be like, this is stupid, everything's fake. Or you
Yeah.
can be like, this is hilarious, everything's fake. Like let's
Yeah.
just laugh and have a good time and try to enjoy this. That's my approach I usually try to take when I go there. I get that it's stupid, it's totally ridiculous, and it's a good way to completely waste all your money, but it's unique and it's beautiful in its own right.
And really, that's why we travel, to discover places like that. And in our case,
100%.
consistently rediscover that exact same place over the years.
I know. I don't know what it is about me. So this is something that I've found interesting. And maybe it's something about my personality, who I am, maybe because I'm a traveler, because I'm a very social person. But like it got to the point where like I was going to Vegas like twice a year for different reasons. Maybe I would go for events. Like I said, I would go to a music festival. We went for the Chiefs game. I would visit Nicole, my friend out there, whatever. So not always just to do stupid gambling or whatever, or going for work. Like I said, that's a good reason. But I would go like twice a year. And I still talk to some people in their 30s and they're like, I've never been to Vegas. Like a lot of people say that. I hear that all day. Like, I've never been to Las Vegas. I'm like, damn, what the hell is wrong with me that I've gone so many times?
Now, Steve, if you met someone, right, that had never been to Vegas or like been to Europe, I might have to say go to Vegas. Like, discover your own country before you venture off. You might like the Eiffel Tower a little bit better in Vegas.
Well, dude, it's a lot more efficient, right? You can see Paris, Italy,
New
Caesars
York.
is, yeah, New York. What's Caesars?
Ancient Rome.
Based ancient Rome. You can see all these countries in one day as opposed to going to Europe. And I mean, you'd have to spend over a week, lots of money, lots of time trying to see all those things when you could just go to Vegas. It's all in one spot.
Now, it's great. And we also got to talk about there's like the glitzy hotels, right? Like the Wynn, like you said, is really cool. You got like the Floral inside, the Aria, the Waldorf. All these places are awesome. And then you go to somewhere like Westgate, right? I remember my buddy Tyler and we went to Westgate. It was like 12 p.m. on a Sunday. There's the only thing that's on. It's not football season. There's like horse racing. And I just walk in there, and it is just the most degenerate shit I've ever seen in my life. Old men there sitting there for hours just betting on these horses that are racing in like Alaska or something. It was hilarious.
Okay,
You just
that's a
feel
good one.
gross. You're like, okay, like I need to get out of here.
All right, I'll give you my gross example.
Okay.
And I have stayed in this place before. Again, we talked about how we used to be poor and stuff and trying to save money. So I have stayed in Circus Circus before. Circus Circus Hotel and Casino. It is known for looking like a giant tent, like a circus tent. They also have a huge light up clown with like a lollipop. Like that's their mascot. Like that's the sign. It's like Circus Circus and it's this giant clown. This place is very dirty. Like I would say that when I lay down in my bed, like if you were to slap the top of your bed spread in the hotel room, like dust and like dirt would come up.
Ew.
I think it is one of the oldest hotels on the Vegas Strip, but it is kind of a shithole, and it's kind of on the far end of the strip, so it's like, you're not really in the action. I think that's another thing, but it is one of the cheapest. So if you want to stay on the strip on the cheap, check out Circus Circus. Oh, another thing that sucks about Circus Circus is there's kids everywhere. Like it's one of the most kid friendly places because there's a live circus going on 24/7 in Circus Circus. And I think they have like other amusement park, like roller coasters and stuff for kids to do. So when you go there, it is weird, you're like all drunk, whatever, walking around gambling, and there's just like little kids at your kneecaps all over.
Dude, okay, first, there's so many things wrong with that. Like, I don't want my parents to take me to Vegas as a kid. Like, why you guys really need to go? Like, you're just dying. Like, you gotta go to Vegas. Like, let's go to Vegas, guys. It's gonna be awesome.
Yeah, that's on the parents. Like the parents are definitely degenerates for doing that.
Yeah. That is hilarious. Now, one thing I haven't seen, Steve, that I want to see, not Circus Circus, I haven't seen that one, but the Sphere. We haven't talked about it.
I really want to check that out. Everyone who's gone says it's epic. I definitely want to check that out.
Yeah, I want to see a good show there or something like that. I would love to see that.
Yeah, that's on my list. I mean, dude, we might be due for a Vegas trip here soon, because it has been a while now. Like I said, I was doing twice a year. It's been like over a year, maybe 2 years since I've been.
Yeah, I'm quickly kind of the only non-married friend, so 100,000 weddings a year, maybe we can make something happen.
Hey, I'm also unmarried.
Okay, well...
We should go to Vegas.
We're not going to marry each other,
No,
yeah.
But we could in Vegas. We could have Elvis marry us if we wanted.
If it's good content, I'm down for anything that's good content. So
yeah. Is getting divorced like difficult? Like, would that be hard for us to get divorced after?
I heard getting divorced is a lot harder than getting married.
Damn it! Will Elvis also divorce you?
Maybe. But, wait, but okay, so I don't know anyone who's gotten divorced yet. That's a good question. That's a good question. I'm sure even if you can't get divorced in Vegas, I'm sure the divorce party is lit in Vegas.
I've seen some divorce parties in Vegas walking around the strip. They look fun.
Or some you should probably get divorced partying.
Yeah. In Vegas. I can see some married couples with their kids in Circus Circus just hating their lives. They should maybe think about getting divorced.
Yeah, I agree. And maybe take your kids to Disney World next time. Because it's really Disney World for adults, not for kids.
It is.
Yeah.
I feel like they're like, again, it's the same problem I had when I went to the Eiffel Tower. These guys go to Disney World with their kids. They're like, where's the fucking craps table? Where's the beer? This sucks. We're going to Vegas next time.
You having fun yet? Yeah,
Don't worry, there's a place called Circus Circus with terrifying clowns running around and dirty sheets. It'll be great, kids.
We'll get you a Sprite. It'll be fine. You'll have fun. Do you think you could get away with drinking in the casino if you went back to 18-year-old Steve?
Yes, I do.
Because you just walk in, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't think they ID you. Do they ID you at the gambling tables?
If I've ever gotten ID'd there.
I don't know if I have either, but when I was 18, I looked like a scrawny little bitch. Like, I probably looked like I was 12, so they might be suspicious, but, it's all about playing your cards right, acting like you've been there before. That's another Vegas tip, okay? I've been with some friends, and, my friend Nicole, who lived there, taught me this too. Like, if you just act like you're supposed to be there, like, she would go under the red ropes into, like, some high-class clubs. Another friend of mine, he would go to like the security areas where they have private areas for private parties, and he'd just be like, I'm with the Smith party. Just make up a name. So yeah, I'm with the Smith group, and just kind of like act like you should be there and start walking in. Like don't go in there be like, I'm with the Smith group. Just like, yeah, the Smith group, and kind of like walk in, and they'll be like, oh yeah, for sure. And I've done it with him. Like it works.
Now, okay, Smith is probably a good one in America to go with, or like Jones.
Yeah.
Those are probably. Yeah, that's a good one. Yeah, okay. I've never tried that. I have a friend of mine who'd probably be pretty good at that. Yeah.
It's all about how you carry yourself.
Fake it till you make it.
That's right, dude. That's quickly becoming a motto of this podcast as well for everything we do.
Well, I think my conclusion is, would I Nomad in Vegas again? Fuck yeah, I would.
Hell yeah, dude. Me too. Let's fucking do it.
I would run it
I'm
back.
down.
Like, it's fine.
I think it's a fun city. I think it's livable if you do it right. Just like other places we've talked about. You know, there's stupid touristy areas, but then there's cool local areas where you can really live your life, and I think Vegas has that too.
Yeah, 100%.
Okay, well that's all we have for today. I hope you guys enjoyed us talking about whatever we talked about, and feel free to hit us up if you want us to talk about something else. If you have any questions for us, our DMs are always open.
Yeah, and feel free to submit what your favorite casino is in Vegas or your favorite activity, and we would love to hear about it.
Also, any crazy stories, we'd love to hear those too, because, you know, Vegas, it's pretty easy to create memories, whether or not you choose to bring them home with you or not, or if you choose to have them stay in Vegas, as they say. But we'll keep you anonymous.
That's right. Unless we have to dox you because it's a good story, but you know, either way.
All right, thanks everyone for listening. Have a good day, and
Take a weird trip.